everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. So it's Onstage week. If you are familiar with Onstage and you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, then you know that is currently what they call our events. They've been named that. It switched. I don't remember if there was something in between convention and Onstage. It's been Onstage for a long time. And then there's various other stages. There's backstage for leaders, there's center stage, which is a thing that will happen this Friday for leaders, and then there is on tour. So there's various names that we call our getting together, but this year the live event, which is the longer of the events, is in Vienna. I would like to be going there, but I'm just going 10 minutes down the road to Onstage that's in Indianapolis. So much to do. We have an event on Friday, and then the Stampin' Up! Event is on Saturday, and I have a presentation there. And then on Sunday, we have a team event. So I have so much stuff going on. And then when we get together for Stampin' Up! Things, we swap. And that's where I make a bunch of cards, and I trade with you for the card that you made. So I did get a few. I didn't know if that was going to make it into my list of things that I got done, but I did. And I always like to film it and show you. And so this year, I didn't do a ton. Most I'll have them out first or even on Friday, so hopefully I'll have some left for Saturday. If I don't, then I'll just swap with the people that are there. I made about 45, 50, I think. I haven't exactly counted them. I used the frame florets, and partly the reason I used it was because it was laying on my desk. You know that I do that a lot. And we also, I'm going to give you some tips. If you are not a demonstrator, just ignore them because I'm going to get to the card. But if you are a demonstrator and you haven't made your swaps for your upcoming on stage, then I just have some tips. People take your cards, but sometimes if you make it with something that's retiring soon, in this case, the Christmas card, nobody wants to go to a middle of November event and bring a bunch of really pretty floral birthday cards and come home with Christmas cards that will be from a catalog that ends soon. Because most people by now are at the final stage of deciding what they want their Christmas cards to look like, or they've already started them. So we need these cards for our business to get ideas. And so if you use something that's much more current, so the annual catalog has still months left on it, and then the frame florets will be in the upcoming January catalog. So it hasn't even started yet, although you can buy it right now as part of the special. So when you're designing your swaps, it helps if you use something that's super current. So annual catalog or pre-order or specials, the door that was out for World Card Making Day, that will also be in the upcoming January catalog. So that would be a good choice. And it's not like people won't take your Christmas card if you've already done it. It's just that I know for me, if I've done 40 cards and I have 20 of them that are Christmas cards, and I see your card and it's another Christmas one, I might just, because there's tons of people to swap with, so I might just keep wandering until I find some that I'll be able to use later in the year. So that's just an idea if you haven't made them yet. The other reason I use this is because it is my club set for this month. So if you watch this video, this is my first online card club card for November. So if you're in Card Club and you want to add it, this is the add-on set. All of the add-on information is in my latest emails and on the Card Club page on my blog, so anybody can go there and see it. But if you're interested in being part of my online Card Club, I can't talk. I have a hair appointment because, I gotta get my hair done. So I'm trying to get this filmed so I can get out the door. And then I haven't grocery shopped for a while. And yesterday my husband was a little bit pouty because he's like, we can go to the grocery store again this weekend. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm going after my hair appointment because it's that kind of week where every single moment it seems is scheduled. So this video is up. My card club is almost at capacity. I haven't checked the numbers recently. I have a few spots left, but once it fills, then I'll just take a waiting list. So go watch that. It uses, you can see the stamps from this. And then I used this one with the coordinating Christmas set that goes with that. This video is up, and then this video is also up. Those all use this month's featured set in Card Club. And all of my information for Card Club is on my blog, and I'll put the link down below this video as well. So the other thing, when I design my swaps for our event on Friday, I have a whole bunch of packages of this paper. It's in the annual catalog, and I can't remember the name. It'll be underneath the video. And then I also had a lot of sheets of one pattern left from when I do my Try It card classes. So if you have bulk of something, always use the bulk, because then you're not left with a bunch of one sheet of something when that catalog retires. So in this case, I used this. It's not the exact paper I used on all of them, because my friend Tanya has done some spectacular cards with this paper. But I just needed a black and white pattern. And then I took, if you use a tag, here's another one. You can use a tag punch, or you can lay a bunch of all similar sized tags of dies on your thing and roll them through at once. They don't all have to be exactly the same, because it doesn't matter if you get this tag or you get the one with the holes in it or you get another tag. As long as your sentiment fits, that's all you need. And then often, probably 90% of the time, my swaps use white cardstock, because then I'm not going to be going halfway through and find out that I was low on a color. So I have a white base and I have this, and then I'm going to stamp. I like mine to be pretty. I want them to be pretty, but you don't have a zillion trillion years, right, to spend on it. So I'm going to take the flowers out of the framed florets and just stamp them in black. And then here's another tip. How many of these size of papers do you have laying on your desk? Gather all the white ones. And then that way you're using cardstock to do these, but you don't have to use full pieces of cardstock, because most of the time you can have a piece like this and it fits perfectly on here. And because I'm going to use a die to cut it out, it can go right up to the edges, as long as there's enough room for that die to go around. And then here's another tip. Because I'm using the tags, when you're mass producing something and you're putting a sentiment on the front, you don't want it to be crooked. So you can put it in your Stamparatus if you want, except mine are all packed away because I'm using them at the events this weekend. So what I do is, when you take the tag, just stamp it however it hits. And then when I put it on my card, I will put this on here straight, and then you don't spend all of your time trying to put something straight on. We have that stamped. Now let's go with, I came upstairs literally, okay, I made my swaps with my daughter. We were watching a Hallmark Christmas movie. I hate them. I can't stand them, but she loves them. So I like to, guess how it's going to end out. She gets the guy almost every time, right? So I like to tease her about it. So I just came upstairs. We were stamping downstairs. I hadn't designed the card, and I just pulled out some pretty colors, because it was super gray day on Saturday when I made mine. It was blustery and windy and dark and yucky. So this looked like spring. And again, this stamp set will be available in the January catalog. So it will be spring, and we'll be thinking spring by the time we really get it to using this. So here's my parakeet. And then remember, I have black and white paper. All of my pieces were black and white. So what I did was I cut them all, I stacked them all up, and then I did all of the parakeet. And then I just went to the next, and to the next, and to the next, until my parakeet was done. If you do this, you are going to have to refill your stamp pads. I was trying to decide what color. And then I went to my polished pink. And none of them have a lot. And when you're using a blending brush on this paper like this, when you do it on just solid cardstock, sometimes you get that, oh, there's where you just laid your brush. That doesn't happen on this. Partly because it's DSP, it's a little bit slippier, and partly because there's a pattern. And then let's do a little bit of fresh freesia. But I did want some black and white to stay as well. So just kind of in the middle here. And then I love to color. So on this, my husband did cut all these out for me, and I just spread them all out on the coffee table, and I painted all of them while we watched our show. And I wanted it to be pretty. So there's a lot of ways you can do it, but when you don't have a lot of time and you're going for pretty, then using your Stella is a great way to go. So here's my freesia. Just add a little bit to those little berries. I did all the freesia. One, for time, and two, because then you're not going to do this and use up all your Stella between switching colors, because you only switch it that many times, the number of colors that you have. Now I have some mango. Get the centers of my flowers. And I did it like they're not super shaded because the set doesn't need it. Mango. And then I didn't have to wash between the polished pink and the mango because if it hits, that one I used it all up because I have more polished pink on my things than anything else. So you just squish your pads like this. You could put refill in it too because you're going to have to refill them. But I was downstairs and my refills were up. Just get a little bit of this. And you can see where the mango hits. I have a little shade of orange. So I went through all of them, all of the cards, and kind of got these bits here where it has the lines. And then as my brush got lighter, I kind of just did around them. Because the first one I did all pink, and then the next one it was mostly white, and we couldn't decide which one we liked better. So I just did a variation of both. Those of you that are coming to our Friday event, this is the stamp set that my projects are made with. And you'll be doing this technique because these flowers just look beautiful with the Stella. And see, you don't have to do a lot of shading. The stamp itself does it. Then we have the parakeet. And I did the big leaves and I just kind of brushed it through. Again, you're doing 40 of them and I was done. Like I got them all the way finished in just a couple hours. It doesn't take forever. So we have the parakeet, and then one last color is Coastal Cabana. This one I might have switched if I hadn't been lazy. And the only reason is it's kind of hard to see on the card because these leaves aren't big, and Coastal Cabana is a lovely color. It's got a little bit of parakeet mixed in with this one. So that was it. That was all of my coloring, and look how pretty. I don't know if you can see the sparkle that the Stella gives it. Super easy. And then, of course, when I did them, they were already cut out. So actually, my husband cut them all out, and then I stamped on top of them because this was really super easy. And out of all of them, I didn't mess up any. So I just stamped it on top of the die. And then this is what happens when I film. I end up with a few more. So I'll have a few more swaps than what I started with. Then I folded all of these in half. Then you go to this piece here. You can use green glue if you want because it's got that great like rolly thing on the bottom, and so it goes fast. I always put ribbon and embellishments on my swaps. I just feel like it finishes them. If you're going to go to all this work and you're going to take stuff from people, you want it to be swap worthy. That's actually what we call it. Me and my friends, at least. That's not like any kind of official term. And for this, there's already a lot going on, and I didn't want the flowers to get overwhelmed. So I did this cord, and then my ribbons all kind of look like that, which wasn't the best until you put them on here. I didn't cut it. I didn't have any tails. And now see, no matter how crooked I stamped those, when I put my tag on, my sentiment is perfectly straight. And then I just added a little bit of adhesive here. And I laid this in it and kind of smushed it down. I don't use dimensionals because often, most of the time when we go to these events, we're flying or driving in a car with a bunch of girls. So space is at a premium. And when you start putting dimensionals, your stack grows exponentially. So, and you know, dimensionals are just something we put on for fun. It doesn't have to be on there, and they still look great. Add that. And then, oh, I was torn on what, in fact, a couple of them, if you get one that has a different embellishment, you'll be like, I don't think this is what she did in the video, because we tried out a couple. It's always nice to have my daughter here so we can bounce ideas off of each other. But I really liked the black. So it's simple, but striking and so easy and beautiful. And the nice thing about this is you could take this card to any event where you have people who are new to stamping, and you could use a punch for the tag, or you could just cut out a square for that. It doesn't have to be a tag shape. This, if you don't have a die cut machine, you can easily hand trim that. I hand trimmed the first two while I was designing my card, so you might get a hand trimmed one as well. But then as I was stacking them up, here's the other paper. I saw that this one doesn't have a back. Some of them have the other ribbons that are in that because, you know, you can see all of them have different variations kind of where the color is or how I may have put it on. So now my final step is I have the clear bags and I will put them in the clear bags. And then you want, back in the day, we used to do a card front and we would stamp our name on the back. And then there wasn't anything you could do with them. Now do a full card, put it in a bag. It could be a baggie, it can be Stampin' Up! Bags, it can be plastic bags you buy from Amazon. They are next day delivery because I used all mine for backstage and I forgot to order more. And instead of putting my business cards that are pretty and I pay for, I just have my information and I run it through my printer and then I just trim them down. So you'll have a little piece of paper that you stick in the back with your information. So there's how you do a swap if you haven't done it. If you're in Indy and I still have some left by Saturday and you're not coming to our event, then swap with me. I can't wait to see a bunch of you this weekend, whether it's on Friday or Saturday. And I'm really looking forward to getting together with my team on Sunday. We haven't been together for a while. So looking forward to that. If you have any questions, if you're interested in my card club, all that information is below the video or in my email. Have a great one. Bye.